Hello everyone, and in this video we are going to start off with learning Swift. So I've made some videos before on my channel, as you can see here, explanations with two functions, methods, and we're going to start off with everything. So if you're new to Swift, this is good for you. And if you have covered some of those things already, so we're really starting from the ground up, it's okay if you are going to revise everything with these videos. So in this video, we're going to have a look at variables and constants as well as types. And this is really important to actually start with programming, as those are really fundamentals for the actual programming with a programming language, in this case Swift. So I came up with this because of this guy here. Cool, I'm new to Swift. Do you have any recommendation to what I can learn? And he's also started at Treehouse, where I have started. So Treehouse is a platform where you can watch videos and do challenges about what you've just learned. And I think this is a really good platform to learn it from. But we're going to just have the tutorials right here on my channel. So you can use any Swift version, so probably Swift 2.2, I think. They have a 2.3 version, but I think that actually comes with the Xcode 8 beta. So if you're watching this later, then when this video just will come out, you probably have Swift 3 already, so don't worry. But if you're watching this video right when I'm actually uploading it, so today, you might want to download it, and there's a link in the description below that gets you to the video where I explain Swift. So let's start by opening up Xcode beta or Xcode, and we're just going to create a playground. So if you don't have Swift 3, this icon is going to be orange for you, so don't worry. We're just going to start off by clicking get started with a playground. We're going to call this getting started. Started. So there you go, getting started, and there you are. So let's just assume you know nothing about this, which may actually be the case. So let's actually analyze what we have here so far. So the thing at the top, you see that is gray. That might have another color for you, so I'll just show you this. Xcode probably is looking something like this or like this to you. If that's the case, well, I have a theme, either this one or this one. I like this one, which just, well, fits my needs. And if you program a lot, you want to have something that actually looks cool. So if you want to change your theme, there's also a video here on this channel called Xcode Install and Change Themes. Okay, so this thing here at the top is a comment, a one-line comment, because you can have multiple lines. If you want to have those lines here at the side, by the way, go to Preferences, Text Editing, and here you have line numbers and activate them. So you see, this is a one-line comment. You know this by those two slashes. If you want to have a comment, you need two slashes, but that's, as I've just said, for just one line. This one line, by the way, can just be extended, so if you continue writing, it will just go like this, which you may, or, well, which you probably don't want to. So if you want to have a multiple line comment, you have to do one slash and a star, and then you can write wherever you want to. And you see you have multiple lines now, and then just close it by doing it the other way around than what you have initialized it with, which is star and slash. Slash. Like this. And you see your code now is still running, although you have the comment here. So just remember, slash and star is one line comment, slash and star is multiple line comment. It has to be stopped, or it has to be ended with the other way around, star and slash. Let's just say one line comment, and here we're going to say this is a multiple line comment, and here is the proof. So there you go. And in programming, spaces like here don't matter. They you can remove them if you don't want to. You don't need spaces, but they make your code more readable. So it's good practice to actually put spaces wherever you feel they are right for you, or make your code more understandable. And you can write comments whenever you want to do something. For example, this piece of code does or holds or expresses or whatever you want to write here. But we don't need this because this is fairly easy. So let's first say this. What is this here? So import is a keyword, and you want to import such things all the time at the start of your project. So UIKit is a framework that holds a lot of code and a lot of functionality. That's like a library that holds just a lot of functionality for your programming that you don't have to understand so much for right now. Just know that if you program with Swift and you want to make iOS apps, you need UIKit. But if you don't experiment with UI, so UI stands for user interface, so that's generally what you can see here. All those elements is the bar here and the buttons. But we don't need this in this case, so we can just say foundation. And the UIKit library or framework holds foundation within it. So we don't need UIKit, so we're just going to say foundation. So finally, we're going to this piece of code here. What does it do? Well, not much. Here we have a variable. A variable is initialized, or you know that it's a variable because of the keyword var. So this thing in a pinkish color is called keyword, and this here means variable. So a variable is a piece of information that can be changed. So you can later change its value, and this is really nice because you might find a use case where you just want to have it to hold some information like a name or so, but later you want to be able to change that name. And this thing here, str, is the name of the variable. So just like your name, let's say my name is Lucas. So people can call me by saying my name, Lucas. So they know Lucas has all those attributes, all those things. He has he wears that color. That's his age, and str is just like the name of the variable, so you can call it and get its content. Its content is on the right side of this equal sign. So equal sign always means is or holds or equals. Doesn't actually, okay, that doesn't mean equals to, it just say is. So the right side of the equal sign means that's the information it holds. So here, this thing is, as you can see, characters and actually a sentence, and you have those quotation marks here. So this here is a string. A string holds, well, text within it. So you can write here whatever. You can say a number. But this number is not a number, really. This number is a string. So this here is actually something like a sentence, or it's just characters, just as alphabets now. It's more or less a word, you could say. It's a word. Let's just say that. That probably makes more sense to you. So you will not be able to calculate, because in programming, you're able to really, by saying 5 plus 5, you're able to calculate stuff. Let's say 5 plus 5 here. And on the left side, it does actually calculate that. Here you see. But if we say, and I can show you that now, you can call string, and it's going to just return or give you this value. So if we say str plus 5, that would just mean this here will turn to 50. 45 plus 5 is 50. But you see here this warning message saying, binary operator cannot be applied to operands of type string and int. So an int, which 5 is a full number. So 5, 1, 3, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I've said 5 twice, but you get it. So an str in this case is a string and not a number, and you cannot put them together. You cannot sum them. Doesn't work. They have to be of the same type, or you have to transform them into the same types, which you don't have to know right now. We just want to keep it a little simple. So there you go. We can just say hello world, and that's fairly easy. So this here is a string, and in Swift, if you want to say that this thing here is type string, that is actually possible, because in other programming languages, you often have to say what type this variable has. And this here is initialized, so you tell the thing which type it is by doing a colon and then saying string. You can think of str of type, just imagine this colon here means of type, string, is this information. But in Swift, you don't have to write that is of type. Usually, for some things you have to, but just keep in mind you don't have to for something like this, because the quotation marks here actually tell you that this here is a string. And it's actually good practice to not have them here, because you have to write much more. But maybe you want to be really, really precise and you want to have them. But that's personal preference. So just know that in programming you can have your own preferences, and that does not mean it's wrong or false. Just always keep in mind other people might have to read your code, and it has to be readable for them. So then you have another variable, which is number, and we just say 5. Okay, 5. Number holds the information 5, and we could now say number plus 3 equals, yeah, well, you don't need to have the equals. You just have to say number plus 3, and it's going to return 8, because 3 is an int, and number is a int 2, because it holds a full number. So what do you think can we do here with the colon? So is of type, what could we say here? Well, you might not know it. Another word for full number or something is integer, of which int is its short form. And so you have a string and an int now, and there's one more important, actually two more important, but for a number there's one more important type, which is a float. In most programming languages it is a float, but in Swift it's a double. So a double is a, well, number with some decimal points. Here, 34343, whenever, you can have as many as you want to. And this is not the same as an int. So if we say int here, let's just say int, it's going to say error, and it's going to say cannot convert value of type double to specified type int. So, okay, we know that now. And we have to, well, let's try actually to say this is a double, and it just has one normal full number. Is that working? Yes, it is. But if you call it now, see, boom. Well, it's not going to say this. In a lot of programming languages, it would say that, but here it doesn't. But if you have 5.4, that works. We can let's just try to say var integer equals to 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, whatever, 10. Let's say 10. And now let's say number plus integer. You see, it's throwing an error. It's going to say binary operator cannot be applied to operands of type double and int. So you can't put them together, obviously, just like string and double or string and int. That doesn't work. So you have to always be of the same type. And I'm going to show you one day how to transform a number in a string into a number, full number, or a int into a double, or double into an int, or actually just a number into a string that holds a number. That might be confusing, so don't worry, we don't have to understand that right now. Just keep this here in mind, and that's really good already. So you now know what types there are, you know how to actually say what types these variables, you have also learned what variables are. So you could also, by the way, because those things are variables, and you have done that already, you can change the value. So here, number equals to 5, now you say that the double 5, 4 is now just completely full. And if you call it before you change it, so here you by saying this here, by saying equals to, or is, actually this doesn't mean equals to, it means is, equals to would mean this, you need this for something else. Number equals to 5, or is 5. Now this changes the value of number. So if you call number before, let's say here, number, here you see it's still 5, 4, but now here it is 5, and after you call it here, it's 5. So meaning before you change it, it's going to be what you've said here until it has been changed, and then it's going to be 5 in this case, so the value that you've changed. And because you might not want that the value is going to be changed, there's something called constant. A constant is not going to be CONST, or it's not going to be CON or CST or something like that. Swift calls a constant let, and we can say number won't change. So here, by the way, you have a naming convention. So this is in Swift, you want to, well, you can't have spaces for the name, and instead of spaces, you always write everything small, and then you are going to write the letter big. You capitalize it when you want to have a new word. So we could say, is this my name? Which would actually look like, is this my name? So this makes it more readable, and you will get used to that really quickly if you have not already. So let's just say, let's go back, number won't change, or let's just say something, greeting. Greeting is a string, so a sentence, a word. Hello, people. But the people is going to be later changed with a name. Let's say hello, and then with a space like this, hello. And now later, you can see this, you can't change the greeting. So you could say greeting equals to, I don't know, let's say bonjour, and then this. Well, now this is going to say, this is not a warning message, but instead this here is going to say cannot assign to value greeting is a let constant, change the let to var to make it mutable. So, well, this actually is an error. Your code won't execute after this anymore, or everything that actually holds this value won't work then. But Swift actually wants you to always write let, even if you might think you need a variable, but Swift is always going to say you have to use a let. And that is because you should only really use variables when you really want to change the value, when you really want to change them. So instead of saying this doesn't work, they offer you to change it to a variable because you wanted to change it here, which we actually don't want to. That was just a way of showing this. But let's say bonjour here because it's not much nicer. And here, now we want to have a variable, a name, and we can say that equals to Holly. And now we can say greeting plus name. And don't worry, this is not like going to add up all the letters, so the amount of letters here. No, instead it's going to put those two strings together. And in the end, you have bonjour, Holly. And here's something you don't know yet. You can also, without having a variable or a string, you can just add another string here, like this. And this is not going to give you a space, by the way. If you want to have a space, you have to put a space within the string, which we have here. So there you go. You have bonjour, Holly, and later we might want to change the value of the name. So let's say this thing here is a variable, and we say full greeting. You see here we've just, oops, that's a crash. We have to open up Xcode again. Now it's going to open up the normal Xcode. Okay, this is really weird. I'm sorry for this. But you are going to get used to this when you are a developer, that it just crashes. So here, and now if we call if we call name, and we say this equals to Michael, or let's say Jorge, and later we're going to call full greeting, and we're going to say, well, it's not showing you this now because my Xcode has just crashed, but okay, this is now really weird. But so sorry for this. This is just because Xcode it's a beta, so it's buggy. So I'm sorry for this. Let's okay, well, Xcode. That's really bad. There you go. Yeah, okay, yeah. So sorry for this. So name equals to Jorge, like this. So you see, actually it works. It was just a crash because of Xcode. We can say full greeting, and there you go. So, well, it would not change the value because full greeting has been declared here. And for this, you need functions, which we're going to learn in the next video. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.